Yeah, I guess I'll just start. Hi, my name is Syrak Micael. Thank you all for having me. Some of y'all I've met before, some of y'all not. So regardless, I'm excited to see you all today. I'm running for Berkeley City Council, District 7. A little bit about me, like Tim said, I'm born and raised here. I love Berkeley. It's been, such a big impact on how, like the young adult that I've become. I went to Margot, Berkeley High, Berkeley City College, Cal, just graduated in econ and public policy. And I think, as you all know, now is a time that we see it's time to protect Berkeley. If it wasn't then, it's now, and it will be for our future. And I'm running to protect this city. There's 3 different platforms I have. I'm gonna go through each one. The first one is making sure that we can invest in affordable housing and protect tenants in our city. We have a fiscal budget every year and we close it, and city council are the people who do that. And I am on the Housing Advisory Commission. I've pushed for funding for community land trusts, making sure that we can fight for co-ops and keep different truly affordable housing options in our city so that we can house those who need it the most. Along with this comes with protecting tenants to make sure that we can hold landlords accountable. And I'm grateful to be endorsed by the Berkeley Tenants Union so that we continue the rental organizing, tenant organizing task force to make sure people know their rights and push for this effort that been going on since the passing of BB. The next one is public safety through community trust. I am someone who doesn't believe that public safety involves fog cameras or tear gas, and I'm always, and honestly, this is truly the way I started in advocacy, was through police accountability. Social media, 2020, I'm a junior in high school and I see George Floyd on my phone, getting assaulted, and the fact that I saw people denying that or saying that that was right was disgusting to me. And I'm this is someone who looks like me, this could be me, this could be my dad, this could be my family, and that really frustrated me. And my friends and I organized a demonstration in front of the Berkeley Police Department to show that it's not just in Minnesota, it's here, it's all over the world, that we need to make sure we stand up against the militarization of our police. And when it comes, we have to look into investing into our community, and that care comes from us protecting each other. We see that in our rapid response for ICE with making sure that we can fight to protect protesters and stuff like that. And that's something that I want to continue to do in City Council. The last one is protecting labor by investing into our basic needs. We have to make sure that we fight for workers, fight for our basic needs. I've been signature gathering for the public bank measure, for the minimum wage measure. We have to make sure that people in the city can actually live here, get groceries, pay their bills, and we can fight for that at a local level. And I've actually got involved in the labor movement through university. I've worked with the Alameda Labor Council, through Black Worker Organizing, through Prop 50, and I want to make sure that we can have allies not just in Berkeley, but across the Bay Area, and I'm excited as a council member to be able to do that. So excited for any questions y'all have. I'm gonna sit down now because my ankle's really hurting, but thank you so much. It's all right, thank you, I appreciate that.
All right, Syrak, thank you. We have a couple questions that, some of which you already answered, but it could be redundant. What are some city council issues of importance, and how would you address them?
You said city council issues of importance?
Yeah. Things that the city council is dealing with right now, how would you address them?
Yeah, I think 2 really big things we're seeing is fighting for affordable housing and police accountability. Our director of the PAB just got removed. We just lost $1.2 million in small sites funding last budget cycle. It's incredibly important that we as a city can fight for protecting affordable housing and making sure that we can't just let our police get militarized. And those are 2 of my main issues. Those are I want to make sure that I can fight against that, be a voice for the most underserved in our city, and yeah, those are 2 things I'm really going to make sure I can push for in council.
Since you brought those up, I have a specific question. Given the complexity of the housing market due to the financialization of shelter by investment capital, how would you stop the predatory takeover of Berkeley's housing market? And how would you support, well, first that part, and then how would you support ensuring rent control continues in the city with all the new developments, as they would also drive the present housing market up too, with their market rate? And what are your plans on limiting gentrification?
Okay. This is a great question. It's a lot. I'm gonna go like one by one. Okay. I'll do like demodification, rent control, and then gentrification. Okay. So for the first part, yeah, housing, private equity, all this stuff we've just seen demolish us at an international scale, and in California, a beautiful state, is getting targeted all over in our Berkeley, in our little town. And one way that we can protect ourselves is through community. When you look at like Southside, where I live, the cheapest, you can get singles cheaper than any other place in any other part of the city through co-ops. And we have to make sure that we can protect students that like come here and like want to study in university and like live in these types of places. We have community land trusts like throughout the city that have board members that are tenants who speak up for their rights and like don't just live in their community, but like represent their community. And these are like truly affordable options that we can represent. And the last one is like, at the end of the day, like our municipal budget is a statement of our values, and we can make sure that we can truly invest in these types of solutions. These types of housing options, so that we can protect people and have people, and decommodify, make sure that like their housing is their right. The next one was rent control, right? With rent control, I want to make sure that we can that we as a city council can aid the rent board in supporting tenants and fighting for tenants. We need to make sure that whether it's through rent control, through eviction control, making sure that people have stabilized rent, making sure that we can fight to proactively keep people in their homes and let them and hold any landlords accountable that try to push people away. This is not a local thing, but I am a firm believer that we should abolish the Costa-Hawkins and the Ellis Act, and I, as a city council member, would happily advocate for that. The last one, with gentrification, I think in regards to the demolition ordinance, which I'm a big fan of, and the right of return, making sure that we can continue to enforce these at any different zones in our city, and then making sure that we can see how we can get more teeth into those, right? Making sure that people can actually find that we can, who are we bringing back into the city, and is it the most underserved? And I would love to push for city staff to really get into that. So those are kind of the three different ways that I tackle those.
Thank you. What are your qualifications, as in vocation, education, organizations, leadership roles, that would qualify you for this job?
Yeah, I think just in the terms of endorsements, I'm the only candidate who is endorsed by student organizations, by student government officials. When it comes to Southside, it's 95% students, and I'm grateful to already have a plethora of Berkeley students that support my campaign. Next, it's the BTU. I'm someone who wants to fight for tenants. I'm grateful that the Berkeley Tenants Union has endorsed me. And the other one was, just me as a person, yeah. I've learned a lot about housing through the Housing Advisory Commission. I'm the vice chair now, and I'm excited to continue to fight for housing when it comes to this upcoming budget cycle, and making sure that renters and tenants are going to be at the front face and can be advocated for through the commission. And other than that, I just am super I feel like we all represent Berkeley in different ways, but I love the way that I represent Berkeley as someone who is of an immigrant family who came here. Both parents studied at the school and have been blessed enough to stay. And I want to be someone that can fight so that people that look like me, that look like any of us, can continue to stay here. So.
Thank you. And
weren't you also a student delegate?
Oh yeah, I was a student. I actually didn't even think I would be involved in politics at all, but I got involved as the transfer student representative. So I was Berkeley City College, ended up being the transfer rep at the ASUC, and advocated for student parents, for formerly incarcerated students, and that's some of the same, the way I, it's student government, but the ASUC is pretty big, but the way I represented myself and my peers in student government, the same way I want to carry myself in council by representing not just people that look like me, but people who don't look like me, even people in this room, etc. So yeah.
Great, thank you. Now, what are some ways that you would campaign, some of your tactics?
Yeah, I think just talking to voters, Southside is the most unique district in the city. It's the most dense, and I will make sure, I don't know if I can commit to knock every single door, but I'm gonna make sure that me and my team will knock on every single door collectively in the city. And I also wanna, and also playing this, in this upcoming, once this heals, I'm gonna start knocking on all the long-term resident doors and make sure that those who aren't students know my face, know me, and I can hear their concerns as well. So yeah, I have a big volunteer coalition already, so many students who didn't even know what the Berkeley City Council was before, but now are excited to hop on this campaign. So yeah, we're gonna knock on every door.
And how would you finance?
Yeah, we just hit 100 donors, so we haven't got to our goal yet, but we've had a really big turnout so far. Public financing, $60 max. Anyone here likes what I'm saying, call it. He's a volunteer actually. Do you have any questions?
Okay.
Might-
Follow up after.
Follow up after.
Okay. Thank you. And you talked a little bit about your endorsers and supporters. Is there any things that you left out, like DSA or anything else that you haven't mentioned that you want to bring up now?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, there's so many things in my head. The incumbent has endorsed me, Cecilia Lunapara. I also am currently going through the process of the UAW Region 6 endorsement and the DSA endorsement. That's tomorrow, and then electoral meeting is tomorrow, and then Sunday's a general meeting. I'm gonna be planning to go for different labor organization meetings. Glenn just said she endorses me. But yeah, I'm gonna plan to go through many different labor organizations after the upcoming primary, but I've already talked to a lot of them and they're very excited about the campaign.
Okay. And how would you like us to help you?
I think just, first of all, donating. Secondly, would be making sure that we can get volunteers for the campaign. And lastly, which is not just during the campaign, but forward, there's a reason why this organization exists. You know what I mean? So many people have gotten pushed to the side when it comes to council, and a mobilization effort to fight for working people, to fight for the underserved is how things can actually get done. And I know this, I want to make sure this isn't the last time I see a group like this. I want to be held accountable, and I also want to make sure that we can come to hearings and mobilize together so that we can fight for stuff and make sure that other council members can feel that pressure as well.
Great. This,
Folks have questions?
we'll open the floor to any questions, and go ahead.
So, just last week, there was a planning commission meeting where the planning department proposed something, and then the planning commissioners actually voted against what the planning department proposed, led by Cecilia Lunapara's appointment to the commission, Alfred Twu. So I'm wondering, and so basically, what is now going to the council from the planning commission is much more upzoning than even the planning department had recommended. So in Elmwood and that's not correct?
That's not correct.
Okay, well, Kelly knows what the real deal is, but
Kelly knows.
because I read your thing, but clearly I didn't understand it. But my question is, will you keep Alfred on the planning commission if you get elected? So, and maybe Kelly has a better question because she was there. So,
I have a whole list of questions here that I'm not.
okay. Oh, we have another 15 minutes.
So what's
answer to that question.
Okay, that's, yeah, right, so that's a very pointed question, which,
Oh wait, Kelly wants to add some context. I mean, as far as the planning commission, they did what they call tailored zoning, which we kind of know as like spot zoning, to protect, the small businesses and to limit upzoning to large parcels, which is what they did. Alfred's role in this is that he increased what the ad hoc committee initially recommended by 2 stories. And Charles Kahn, who's an architect, turned to Alfred and to the rest of the commission and said, every time you add another floor, we get less affordable housing because the sweet spot to building is 7 to 8 stories. So, I mean, that's actually,
that he did.
yeah, that's what.
He was
So-
massing setbacks, he did a whole bunch of
Yes,
stuff.
yes, yes.
That's-
Well, they also took away the math. They took away the restrictions on math. I mean, they did a bunch of changes.
And the setbacks to the neighborhood.
But I think what we might really get at is what is your, how do you feel about inclusionary affordable housing versus paying in lieu fees? That might be
Okay,
a
there was like 80 questions there. Should I just answer that? Or
yeah.
Okay, okay. That's a great question, and that's something that the answer is it depends. At least for me, there are so many different communities in Berkeley, so many different people that so many different people that live in these communities, and also people that pushed out of this city as well. And I think the first thing that in government that we need to do is talk to the people that would potentially be living in these places, talk to the neighborhoods, to the residents of these places, talk to the small businesses to see what could work, and then also making sure that we follow through and have a very nuanced approach in figuring out what will be best for these communities. There's some parts of Berkeley where the in lieu fee might be better, and that we can build affordable housing in another, maybe more protected part of this city. And at the same time, there's places where we want to make sure that we can bring people in and take back some of the effects of redlining that did segregate a lot of the city. So it depends, and I know it's super complicated, and I want to make sure that in council I would take a nuanced approach to that.
Because actually what happened at that meeting at the planning commission is the people were asking for inclusionary affordable housing so that we don't have a segregation of people who are lower income, so they aren't segregated into one part of the city versus mixed with everybody. So
That's what inclusion.
as something is that something that you consider segregation versus mixed in one building?
I think that there's some times where we should be having inclusionary zoning, and sometimes that there's not. I wasn't at this meeting. I know
Yeah,
most
so
of the
that's why I'm
time. So
asking
yeah.
you a general question too.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think-
How do you weigh those?
Go ahead.
I heard you talk about affordable housing, and one of our problems is that the income levels for affordable housing in Alameda County are very high. Affordable housing is for people who make $100,000 a year. Low income is $89,000, and very low income is $15,000. So when you talk about affordable housing, you talk about extremely low housing, which gets down to about a person earning minimum wage gets about $30,000 a year. How do you envision us having housing for people who are truly low income and enough so that they don't have to camp on the street?
Yeah, I think looking at some of the measures that we have coming up are ways that we can actually help with that, and I'm really excited for them. For one, making sure that people can make more money by increasing the minimum wage for large employers, and also having a public bank could the public bank measure is really cool because the funds will go to clean energy, to affordable housing, and to small businesses. So by creating different ways that we can fund affordable housing, even with like a tax on the city from the federal government, are ways that I support.
Well, what do you mean by affordable housing?
Income
levels.
And I think, in regards to that basic affordable housing, like, you're right. I think looking at like the county and how we look at like what the median is, when there's some people that make an absurd amount of money in the city that could be skewed. That's like, I actually would love to look into like how we actually create these income level factors, because I'm not the most expert on it, but in council, looking at how the county does that is something that really interests me. And then looking to like, we have to make sure that, okay, like if when that any development needs to be fully transparent, and you know, like what type of like income levels will be supported, and will it be like extremely low income housing, or will it be like what you're saying, like very moderately like well off people? So
Any other questions?
Next side a question back there.
Okay,
I have a couple. So, one is, you didn't really answer the question about the in lieu fees. Are you in favor of raising the amount of the in lieu fee in order to generate more money for affordable housing?
and we're like the 20% in lieu fee. You're talking about that one, right? Yeah. Oh, I thought it was like 20% of the.
20% of budget.
Sorry.
Can I just define the in lieu fee is if instead of building an affordable unit in a building that the developer is building, they pay an in lieu fee into a bucket of a pot of money that then, as soon as there's enough collected, that then they'll build a 100% affordable building. So it's instead of having developers build in the buildings, putting money in a, in lieu fee, which the council has continued to decrease what that in lieu fee amount is.
They're getting less and less.
Yeah, you want to boost it back up.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we can fund like affordable housing in as many different ways as we can, and not just like in these different sites and stuff, but also through like co-ops and community land trusts. Like so many different people live in this city, and there's not just one answer to solving it. And I think we just have to make sure that we can talk to the residents, find these different ways, whether it's like increasing the in lieu fee, making sure that like Americans pay.
You're still not answering the question.
I want to look into this as much as I can, and I'm really excited to.
He did the best he could. This isn't a pressure zone. He answered it the way he could. Go ahead.
So I've been studying the budget for the next 3 years they have for the health and mental health community, and there's been huge cuts, and of course the feds have dropped funding, so there's a lot of precarity going to be happening. They're closing like some of the wellness centers. I know that Berkeley is part of the Alameda County bucket, and there's like a lot of sharing between that, but certainly our unhoused people are the ones who are going to be the most impacted if all these the services that we have here in Berkeley are being cut, because I know they have a lack of staffing, and there's been a freeze on hiring, and I'm very concerned about the hiring freeze. And it seems to me that the city has a contingency bucket of money that they haven't spent yet, so there's a disconnect. So I'm just sort of wondering about your interest in exploring that. And the second one is about public banks. There's been an effort for public banks which would help fund some of this housing, and I just thought I'd bring that up too. But it's the homeless people, the mentally ill people that need services that don't have them because there's been staffing cuts.
Yeah, you're right, and I completely agree with you. When it comes to community care, we have to make sure that we by investing into like those most in needs, we can create our most safe communities. And I think another alternative, like another way that I've been wanting to push for this is by like having the UC pay their fair share in that. The LRDP fund can be used to fund things like Dorothy Day and like make sure that we can actually invest into make sure the university invests into our community and make sure that that we all can thrive and that those who are most in need of those resources can get them. And similarly to identifying fiscal irresponsibilities of the police are different ways that I would love to look at where we can get this money.
Thank you. Go ahead, John.
Is there anything that you would like to see changed in the culture, either of the city council or of the staff, the city administration? And would try to influence the people, like you said, the culture and the sort of the way things work, and including the role of commissions with respect to things.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking there's a bunch of them going through my head, but I think that, council needs to, with the council needs to hold itself accountable. Council needs to be accountable to the people. Like I said before, this won't be the last time. I have many of your cell phone numbers. You can always reach out to me, whatever, and I want to make sure that is that I am accessible to anyone, whether you're in the South Side or not. And in regards to the city staff, just making sure that the council can hold them accountable as well, and they have all these records and historical context and stuff like that I don't even have, and making sure that they are responsible to council and that they can also feel empowered to be able to actually enact these things. So those are the ways, and yeah.
I'm gonna go back just for 1 second to housing. Do you believe that building all market rate housing will eventually trickle down and that is what's going to provide us with lower cost of housing? Or do you believe in the trickle down?
No, I think that's irresponsible, and that anytime that you build market rate housing, making sure that you can protect tenants that currently live in the area, making sure that we can actually fund affordable housing. I don't believe in completely deregulating the housing market.
I would hope so.
And Paula is the last one. Okay, thank you, Syrak, for being here. I have 2 questions. My first question is, can you tell me what committees within the city council you would like to be on? And the second thing is, would you be afraid of putting out a proposal, a resolution of some sort, where maybe that you'll have 1 or 2 supporters that, that it won't get past the fact that you're putting it forward, so that even though it loses, you actually put it forward? Because you see in this city council is that the majority of the city council, it's always a unanimous vote. It always is. There's no one standing up saying, no, I don't support this. So those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I would not be I'll go back and go in order. First of all, committees, fights, the 6x4 committee and public safety committee are some that I really would want to be a part of, and I feel haven't really, I feel I have a voice that hasn't really been heard in any of those committees. Next, you said it was the vote one, right? Or did I say that? Yeah. I would not be afraid of being a dissenting vote, and in regards to putting out stuff, it's scary because as a community organizer, any of us we can say what we believe in, and we can put out the stuff, and we're not the ones who actually push these policies. I want to make sure if something that I'm putting out and I know, well, I would want it to just have no, but if I feel a lot of the council members won't actually support it, I don't want to make sure that the people support it, right? If it's something where I know that let's say majority of people in Berkeley want to see and stuff like that, then I would not be afraid of doing that, because it's what the people want, whether it's students, whether it's workers, whether it's anybody. So yes, I'm representing Berkeley, not just the Southside constituents, but Berkeley as a whole, so would not be afraid of doing that. It'd be frustrating, and I want to make sure we could debrief and see what went wrong and what we can actually do next time to actually push that forward. So yeah, politics is tricky, and that's why I'm not a career politician or anything, but I want to, if it's strategic and stuff like that, and we have public support, I would be comfortable doing that.
I just want to just follow up with the first question, if you would answer the question about the planning commission, and I don't know if you thought that far in advance, but if Alfred True represents your views, or do you think that you would replace him?
I didn't
So you don't.
I don't wanna be-
Probably the answer is I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. Your time is up.
Would we
Sorry
like-
for the
would-
people who didn't get their questions answered. I tried to call on people who didn't get a voice yet, so,
Would we like a closing statement?
yes.
Sure.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Yeah, tell them we'll come out and get them in a minute. Okay, 1 minute.
I didn't really have one prepped, but yeah, like I've said before, feel free to reach out if you have any questions that you didn't feel like were answered. It's syrak4southside@gmail.com. I think it's in the candidate questionnaire as well. And yeah, I want to listen. I know Berkeley is super complicated, and I'm learning, and I hope that we all are learning, and I understand that even if let's say if someone here we disagree on 99 things. So there's one thing that we agree on, I want to push that. Same with the opposite way. I want to work with everybody here. I want to be someone that can represent Berkeley, and I believe in good government, and I'm excited for all of y'all to see me along this journey, and I hope I can get your support. Thank you.